Hey, this is Kate from Daisy Nails, creating fun, funky and fabulous nails. This is number 4 in my Frida Kahlo series, recommended by my friend Tikara, who is a huge Frida Kahlo fan. This is her favourite of Frida's works of art, and it's called The Broken Column. And this is based on, or it's trying to describe, I think, the pain that she felt following an accident when she was 18 involving a bus. So this particular nail, I'm focusing on one of her eyes. So you've got to look at the shape of the eye, how far along does it curve, what direction does it curve, what angle does it curve in. Just have a look at those. And I've sketched that out with the Born Pretty jelly gel and cured it. And now I'm filling that eye in with the white for the white of the eye. And then with the perfect black, I'm just going to do the nostril. I try to do as little as possible with the nose because invariably when I try and paint noses, I end up doing too much to try and get the shading right, and then they end up looking worse and worse as they go along. So I thought I'd do as little as possible, and we're not going to worry about it. Right, so mixing in with the pudding gel, the fire and ice, a little bit of white, so we can get the colours we want for the shading. And we're going to put that all over the face. This is her skin colour, in my opinion, according to what colours I've got in my gels and what colour she put on her paintings. So this is Madame Glam brush, which are very good at holding lots of gel, so you can transport it across to the painting. You don't have to keep going backwards and forwards. Just keep blending those colours in to try and get the variations of skin tone. If you look in a mirror at your face, you'll see it's made up of a lot of different colours. So it's a case of trying to vary it around the face. And I suppose that's why when we do makeup we use, you don't just put one colour foundation on and leave it, do you? You do highlights, you do shading, all kinds of things. So this is where we get to the nose, and I'm like, what can I do? Keep it as simple as possible. I'm trying to remember, I'm sure I did something. I'm getting a bit of darker pudding gel out, that's right. I'm putting the fire and ice into it. Because obviously I'd put the perfect white into the caramel beige that I had out before, and then just a little bit of sketching on that nose just to suggest a bit of shading. And then bringing that around for where the nostril comes to under the nose. Popped it into the lamp, gave it a nice cure, and then we're going to do the eyebrows now. Frida, of course, is famous for her eyebrows. And for many other things, but that's what people tend to recognise as her eyebrows. So using the perfect black and bringing it along in lots of tiny little lines, as though it's all the tiny little hairs. And once I'd done that, I decided that looked too bushy, even for Frida. Listen to me calling her by her first name as if we're busy mates. And then I just clean that up underneath using some isopropanol alcohol and a lint-free wipe. Careful not to touch the part that the gel has actually gone onto. There we go. And then just a little bit from the top as well. And into the lamp and cure it. Probably a flash cure. So I'm now going on to do the eye. So I've sketched out the circle and filling that in with the black. And she had very dark eyes, so I'm not going to try and do sort of the irises, etc. If I remember rightly, she pretty much left it like that in her version as well. Outlining the eye, and then that's sort of where the crease in the lid is. And then we're going to draw her tears. Now her tears on the original painting are white. I could come here and make up lots of excuses as to why I did it in black. It's purely that I forgot that they were white. So I do make up for that in a minute by going over them in white. But let's just show the process, shall we? And in fact, they look far more, I don't know, it makes more of an impact, certainly on me, when you see them in the white. Of course, as we know, art is subjective. You get out of art whatever it is that you need to get out of it. And since I'm doing the black, I'm also adding in the nails. Oh, this camera's bugging me, focusing on my hand instead of the nail. Okay, so that's cured, and now I'm getting the white and going over the black. But it is leaving a bit of a black outline. But hey ho, we're going to have to live with that. And then pop in the highlights onto the nails. And then a little bit of white reflection in the eye. There we go. Top coat that. When you look at the painting, you can really get that sort of feeling of sadness from her when you look at her eyes. That's the whole lot. There's a couple more to come, a couple more already been done. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you being here. Take care. Bye.